Tonight, BASA News is in the city of Newark, downtown at Military Park, across the street from Robert Treat Hotel, the famous Robert Treat Hotel. And of course, a place I like to eat, Blaze Pizza, which is about a year or two old. But today, my special tonight is about a man, but not just a man. They call him the doctor. They call him street doctor. But his biological name is Earl Bess. When do you become street doctor? Is it a uniform you put on?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about it. When did it happen that you become the street doctor?
It happened 18 years ago. I had came home from college. The college was Trenton State Prison,
Okay.
Broadway State Prison, and Northern State Prison.
Northern State.
That's where I got released from.
Okay.
I did 10 years in solitary confinement.
Wow.
June the 13th, 1983, I heard these words. You have a right to remain silent. They call it the Miranda.
Sure.
Esposito. November 2000, I heard these words. Earl Bess, ready and out with everything.
Wow.
So from June the 13th, 1983 to November 2000, the doors was open.
The doors are open.
I became what you would call a Junie Johnny Cochran.
Okay.
I became a psychologist.
Yes.
And it goes on and on. But to make a long story short, out of the 10 years I did in solitary confinement.
Wow. 10 years in solitary confinement.
I read one book a day for 10 years. The last book I read was called What Makes the Great Great.
Wow.
If I had 8 hours is to chop down that tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. So it was time to go. But anyway, I became a lawyer, a psychologist, and what I did, I flipped the script.
Okay.
I didn't serve time. Time served me.
All right.
So I read one book a day for 10 years. So at one moment in this, what you would call journey, life is a journey, not a destination.
That's right. That's right.
I had a chance to do a lot of reading, but I got to say this to the people, you understand, who don't believe in a higher power. I'm in the hole. They took my books, and they told me that the only thing that I can read was the Bible.
All right.
So I put the Bible down, kept working out, and then I grabbed the Bible and I turned to this verse called Proverbs.
Proverbs.
The old mustard seed,
Yes.
the smallest seed in the world. And I started reading the Bible, and then I started searching for God. And I say, God, why is I'm going through what I'm going through?
Okay.
And I'll never forget the answer. If not you, who? So I let that go, started doing my push-ups, then I asked again. I said, God, how's I'm gonna do all this time? And he said, if not you, who? So I kept on. So I said, I got to find you, God. And he said, go ahead. So I started reading all the different, the New Testament, the Old Testament, the Holy Quran, the Injil, everything.
Everything.
And I never couldn't find him. This is a true story. And I said, God, why I can't find you? And I would like to share this story, right, with the whole world.
Okay, that's what we're going to do.
And
BASA
he
News,
said,
worldwide.
He said, I wasn't street doctor then. I was being,
He's evolved.
go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir.
I was evolving.
Mhm.
And I said, why I can't find you? He said, street doctor, but not street doctor then. He said, Earl. He said, the reason why you can't find me, because I never talk about myself. I never forgot that.
Wow.
Because if anybody who reads scripture, all you hear God saying is we and us.
We and us, yes.
We
yes.
and us.
We and us, yes, yes.
And from that time on, I just started reading. I broke everything down. Every 6 months I studied psychology. Sigmund Freud, Jung, Watson, Pavlov, Slobbing out the mouth, Francis Queston Whalen, It was another book called Great Men in Many Colors, Volume 1 and Volume 2, A.J. Rogers. I just was all over the place.
Absorbing it.
Absorbing it, you know, and start writing stuff down and what have you. Getting prepared for this journey. Life is not a journey, not a destination. So
Right.
since that time, that's what you would call my incubator. In other words, like that's where it started, the little musket seed. I'm an ex-bank robber, and God seen something that nobody else seen.
That's right.
And today, I'm the street doctor. So very briefly, where that came from, we was protesting, and I had a white coat on, and we was protesting somewhere in Elizabeth. And this guy named Ishmael Salam out of Elizabeth.
Salam Ishmael.
Salam Ishmael. Salam Ishmael said,
I know Salam.
I always say his name back. Salam Ishmael say, last but not least, the street doctor. And I kept that for 18 years. That's where that name came from that
Okay.
brother.
Okay.
Through God.
Okay, yeah, we know Salam. We've covered Salam many journeys. We walked with him many times.
Yeah. So that's where that came from.
In your name, the work that you do,
Yes, sir.
do it actually equivalent to an actual doctor?
And the reason why, that's a good question. The reason why a doctor, because the street needed healing,
Yes, the people.
the people. So who was better than me of going through everything I went through?
Yes, sir.
I didn't even tell you about, I broke down time. It's 86,400 seconds in a day. It's 1,759 Rice Krispies in the box. I'll never forget
Okay.
that. Now,
Right.
that's a story within itself, because as I told you, they took my books.
So you learned to count.
I counted cereal. And I'll never forget that count.
So you never allow the powers that be to stop you
Go
from
ahead.
thinking.
Go ahead.
You use whatever was in your midst to build you up.
And know where I got that from? Through reading, I ran across this brother named George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
Dr. Carver, yes.
Dr. Carver. George Washington Carver, right, when they used to go to his laboratory, they used to see him, okay, on his knees. And they say, why are you on your knees? He said, a lot of people pray and their prayers don't go as high as the ceiling.
That's right.
So I said, whoa. And then they start saying he was talking to the flowers.
Yes,
and-
yes.
But that was botany. Okay. So George Washington Carver was one of my mentors.
Okay.
That came through the reading.
Yes. You grab it. And that right there is a fascinating way to actually grab leadership, because it's just uncountable. You can continue to, as you enrich your mind with different books and different authors and things like that, you can continue to enrich yourself. And it's not personal.
That's right.
It's intellectual.
Intellectual. And what makes it so bad, so when I got released, God said, I'm gonna hook you up with people that's out here doing the work.
Yes.
So when you said you was gonna interview, I called them people.
Yes.
And there they go right over there. That's King Saul with the Street Warriors.
Okay.
Right, in which the group I started. That's Dr. Kirby. He did time. Now he's a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
So they're street doctors out here. It ain't just yeah.
Okay.
And these brothers, as I called a few of them, and they showed up. So that's why they
Okay.
here. Can I
Bring them if you want to bring them over.
Excuse me.
Get a chair.
Get a chair. Come.
Get a chair and have a seat.
Come on, brother.
You just gotta-
Yeah, man.
You got a chair big enough to fit me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, life is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
These brothers, 18 years. These brothers, it's so many good stories here.
Okay. Let's first start by introducing.
Okay.
Well, my name is H.L. Kirby, the crisis intervention specialist for the state, all over. So that's what I do. I'm under NAMA, which is the National Anger Management Association, and I'm like the only African American doing this work right now.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
All right. That's good. That's good. You?
My name is Glorious King Saul. I'm also known as Professor Nash. I work with the Gateway to College program, Bill Gates program,
Okay.
X County College. I work with the honor students in Shabazz, Malcolm X, high school.
So basically, all of you guys are in the healing business.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you,
you
brother.
go.
In the
There you
healing
go.
business. You know, that's something that we don't talk about in the United States. We don't talk about building up personal character. We talk about building money. We talk about building education, but no one has a reach deep and said, you know what, we need healing.
There's no money in healing unless it's medication.
Okay.
That's why it's overlooked the way it's overlooked.
But we suffer because of it.
And we
People
suffer
going in
because-
schools and shooting up.
Yeah.
We just seen Waffle House in Tennessee shot up.
Yeah.
And this, you know, churches being shot up.
Come on.
Hurt
So-
people. Hurt
people-
people who
yeah.
never had, hurt people hurting other people because
Yes.
they never had a chance to heal.
Ooh. And I'm glad you brought. I love you, brother. I'm glad you brought
Likewise.
that. I'm glad you brought that up because King Saul, he did a story on that where he say hurt people, and I never asked him where did that come from.
Well, you know, for years, as one of the founders of the Street Warriors and a member under the Street Doctor, we used to go around to the schools, the public housing, and the colleges, and different places, churches, and we used to talk about it. And I had this poem called "I Don't Know Myself," you know, and we used to tell them right then and whether the shooting took place in the schools or in the streets, that it was the same, that we under attack. And what we see now is that's what we see going on
We're
today.
under attack.
just said. What you
We're under
just said.
attack.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We're under attack, and you know, it seems like no one knows what to do.
What's the lack of education? I
Is
believe
it-
it's the lack of education.
I like what he said. The lack of education of knowing what to do. And when to do it, because you may know what to do, but it may not be the right time to implement it.
Okay.
Because right now, with the business being medication and pharmaceutical, right now is not the time for the community to really want to embrace getting away from this medicated state that they have indoctrinated to us in.
Yes.
And that's why it's about education. Because once you're educated on the post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yes.
the ADHDs, and the lies behind it from with the true
Yeah,
education,
yeah.
then you can make a difference.
But when are the constituents going to say, listen, it's time to pull a main? We're suffering. No matter what the power brokers are saying behind medication and the pharmaceutical things, that we actually need hands-on healing. And hands-on healing starts by seconds, 1 second at a time.
And just to echo what you're saying, right? And this is what we do. You feel what I'm saying?
I understand.
Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous.
That's right.
It wasn't no accident that I met you.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
you know, you right there, okay, and we need more reporters like you.
Thank you.
But
Thank
you don't have the reporters that comes to the people.
That's right. That's
feel
right.
what
I
I'm saying?
understand.
I mean, head is, you
It's
know,
just a headline. It's just a
that's a
headline.
headline.
Yes.
And the conversation, and you true Bill, the conversation is the way you was talking. I said, I'm feeling it. And I called it them, and I said, I met this brother, and he's so much like us, and he's a film man. And they say, what, okay, Street, what kind of film man this is? I said, I felt him. And then sure enough, the energy. So this didn't supposed to be the day, King. He called and say, let's make it the day.
Yes, yes.
So when he said that, I said, whoa. And I called them. They always on, you know, what's going on. I just left another wait. Two more of our guys, we got to go and see today. They in what they call that? In the no, they're in the coma. They're in the coma.
Coma.
You see what I'm saying? So every day, this healing thing, brother.
It's
and
very
I'm
important.
It's very important. It just so happens, you know, Dr. Kirby, right? He had to go to another state is to get his license. But what makes him so dangerous in a good way is that he don't go just for the money.
Right, right.
See, that's all money, what you were saying.
Exactly. Well, you know, I think that the people have thrown the ball up, and as you know, when the ball is tossed up in the air, it's gonna round off. It's gonna slow down.
Yeah.
At some point, it's gonna say, "Hey, I don't went further enough," and now it's time to come down. So now I think that the people, with all that's going on in the country, they're ready for you guys. They're ready for you guys, big time.
There's a difference between being ready for something but not wanting it right now. It's funny how you can be ready for something but not really want it. And that's that double negative thing.
Yes.
You gotta look at it, because some people say that they're ready for change.
Yes.
But when change is right there in the palm of their hands, they don't know how to close it
Okay,
or
I
grasp
understand what you're
it.
saying
So
now.
that's what I mean when I say, do they really want it? They could be ready for something, but not really want it or willing to accept it.
Well, let me ask you this right here, Doctor. Do we have a choice?
Well-
Because I say that right there because no matter where you at, no matter where you go,
Come on.
you can be at New Jersey Pack, you can be at the Met game,
That's right.
you
Come
can be
on,
at the
come on.
football game, you can be in Whole Foods, you know, or you can be in ShopRite. We don't know where this shooter gonna come.
But you know what though?
Healing is important.
You as an education advocate, you got to go at these babies. You got to go at these kids, man. Something the seventh grade, sixth grade,
Yes.
the fifth grade. You got to go at these babies because they are going to make the difference. I teach them every
Yes.
day. They don't want the education. They hate it. They say I don't have to get this. I can do something with my hands in the street. So we got a bunch of kids running around, white, black, Chinese, Indian, whatever. We got babies running around here with guns. They got to be trappers. They want to be trappers and rappers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling
Everybody's
you.
not gonna be a champion rapper or rapper. And the bottom line is that we know that crime is you're just not gonna make it that way.
Yeah, we know that, but you got to teach them.
Well, we
be
have to
patient.
communicate. We got to be great communicators and communicate it to them.
Yes.
We have to sit down and say,
You know
listen,
what?
it's not.
I'm in the process right now of opening up a recording studio. I'm in partnership out in North Brunswick with a gentleman. And what I do is find youth with talent, creativity, and I try to bring that out of them. Take the time out. People don't do that. They don't take the time out. I got mine, you get yours. And that's where it's always been. But we got to take the time out with these kids, man. We got to give ourselves, because a lot of us, we getting older.
That's right.
And they are tomorrow's leaders,
That's
man.
right.
And I see them every day. It's like pulling teeth. But then we say, yo, listen, whoa, listen. You gotta learn. You have to really explain to them how important it is to seek knowledge.
Yeah.
To go to school, to stay in school.
To stay in school.
And it's hard when you have uneducated parents.
Parents, of course.
Because if a parent doesn't have the proper education, it's hard for them to push their kids into it. And if a parent is hurt and all they know how to do is spew that onto the child, so a child is only a reflection of that parent.
Sure.
While you see so many young ladies today being so promiscuous, thinking it's okay because they got it from who? The people around them, whether it was their auntie, their mama. And I'm not saying nothing bad about mothers and everything, but I think sometimes we have to step back and look at the images we put before these children. A father having multiple females around his son makes his son think this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Vice versa. With a female having multiple men around her daughter makes her daughter think that this is okay. Mommy did it.
Yeah.
Mommy had boyfriends, X, Y, Z. So then
Man in the room.
when we're doing with all that, we're getting further and further away from the education. You know who's raising our kids right now?
Who's that?
Social media. Social media.
Well, that's
and
why
Google.
we're trying to. This is going to be on social media.
Social media
and
Google.
social media is the avenue that I go.
Uh-huh.
And it's been and I would be remiss not to give honor to it because it gave me a platform to be out
But
here
you do,
but we have to
educating.
teach.
You're
Yes.
educating, so your is about the
limited,
type,
right.
the type of media that we're exposing
Sure.
them to, and we're exposing them to nothing but negative 24/7 all day, every day. That's what they think is about, because everything is a moment.
Yes.
Everything is a moment. Right now, remember, it was a moment where everybody was running around scared for HIV/AIDS.
That's right,
Awareness
that's right,
education. You
that's
don't hear
right.
nothing about it now.
That's right.
Then the next moment was the bombers and terrorists.
That's right.
Now is another moment with the syntax and all that.
Yeah,
It seems like
Now
every
it's-
month,
now it's
every
a-
week is a different
right.
moment. Right now we have the children going around shooting up
Shooting the
schools.
whole school up.
Moments. These are moments. So we get on these moments instead of getting to the root
But
of the problem.
isn't there something, deep about some of these young people that go into these schools? And I reflect on a young lady that was in Georgia. The young man busted into the school. She said that the young man backed the police up with his gun. So he knew how to use that gun, and he was bred it. He didn't just pick up the gun haphazardly and shoot it like this. He was bred into knowing how to use his firearm.
Because that's what they see the difference in the training of a child. Okay.
So what's the fear? Who's training these kids?
Their parents.
Why?
Their parents are training them.
For what?
Because then when you have a hurt, angry parent who don't believe, who's still racist, let's call it what it is.
Right.
If you have a hurt, angry parent who's a racist, he's going to teach his child how to be racist. So he's taking his child deer hunting and shooting the black ball in the head at ages 3 and 4 and 5. Versus African Americans, we're not exposed to that. When I went and got trained in Seattle, Washington, right, I found out that more correction officers and police commit suicide than anybody else.
Wow.
And you know why they commit suicide in those areas differently? They don't go around, they don't talk about, I'm going to cut my wrist, I'm going to hang up. They have access to guns. We ain't going to play with this. It takes 5 seconds, pull the trigger, boom, I'm done.
Wow.
And that's why the suicide rate is different and the suicides are different. You won't go down there and hear about suicides on overdosing of pills and stuff. And the whole thing
Slow down. You hear it right away.
Yeah, the whole thing still revolves around the education. A lot of our people was miseducated a long time ago.
Yeah.
So instead of saying that, you know what, let's search for a better answer, let's search for a better solution, we're so conditioned to follow the norm because, oh, that's what they expect of.
Sure.
But you can't, because look at this. Here he was, he went from King Sawu to Professor, like, come on now. He's doing it, he's showing you, like, your possibilities are limitless. Your goals, you can still reach them. It's not an age. See, we put limits on our goals that we can attain. Here it is. I knew you about 9 years now. When I met him, he wasn't a professor. So it tells me, like, bruh, the grind don't stop. The knowledge don't, the search for knowledge doesn't stop just because you got a title, because you got a little things going on. It doesn't stop.
Well, I'm gonna give you this. I remember one time they said, listen, they said, we ran out of money, so we're not gonna be able to employ you for the next 3 months. You know what I told them? I said, don't worry about it. I said, I'll work for free. I'll come down and volunteer a couple of days. I'll take a couple hours. They looked at me today. I said, I'll volunteer for free. I said, because I love what I do. And you know what? They found me some money. They found me some money.
And just this right on time, just to give you an up-to-date, another brother just came in, Brother Ali.
Oh, you got
Ali. I know Ali.
Yeah, but this...
Not in this segment here. This right here. Ali, you get a seat. Get a chair.
Oh, I'm in there. Y'all talking?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, you get a chair. Pull up a chair, Ali.
Yeah, Ali.
If he called you, you know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
Because I just called him 2 hours ago for something else.
No, but I called.
I just called him 2 hours ago for something else.
Gotta leave.
He was there. He was there when you called.
Okay.
I didn't even know. Small world. What happened? Brother Ali, right? Another community brother. We go way back. I ain't gonna give you the age thing.
That's right. That ain't
He
important.
called me and said, "This is up to date. I love him." He called me and said, "Listen, I put you on social media, right? Because they doing a big show, and I found the tickets, and he got on social media my number. They've been calling me all day with these tickets."
Now, what's the show about?
This show is about Ali. Since you in here, brother, because I know you got to go.
This is for Team Barack.
Team Barack.
It's a rally for the
My
mayor.
Okay.
And the rest of the team is going to be at the North Tempe Hall.
North
It's
Tempe
free.
Hall. And it's
It's
free.
going to be the R&B guys, the moments.
The moments, all of them.
Okay.
So we just tuning them up for the mayor for the last 3 days.
Oh, now what date is this going to be?
This is
May
May the
5th.
5th.
Oh, okay.
And the election's made.
That's right.
That's why when I seen you, I said, I got something for you.
Yes.
All right, you know, on the thanks from Ali.
We'll be in a couple.
Okay, so that's the reason why I basically called you. I'm just tired of people doing good things and he don't blow his horn.
That's right.
You know what?
Me and this gentleman was in the FOI
Yeah,
together.
okay.
1971.
Oh, man, that was deeply rooted.
Small world.
First round.
He was a lot smaller.
Yeah, that's all
First
right.
round.
Beans. What Elijah say? Beans.
Beans.
What kind of beans?
Navy.
Navy beans.
Navy
Okay.
bean. Navy bean.
But see, Smooth, when you was, in college, I used to sell clothes for a living. I used to sell them clothes. When they was out doing the other things, I sold clothes for a living. And I made a good living. So
Yeah.
I made
You sold a lot of suits.
Yeah, I was making back then, man, $50,000, $60,000 each selling suits. And Dawg was one of my good customers. He would come in town and give me 6 of those shirts and 6 of those pants and stuff.
I gotta go. Yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to.
Well, I'm gonna leave and come back. I got my lady.
Just the information. Listen what he's about to tell you.
They having the council thing up at the hall, at the Masonic Hall.
Who doing?
I think it's the council at large.
Okay.
No
Oh,
problem and all that.
what time is it?
6:30.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll meet
They
you.
got
over
food.
there.
Okay.
You got food up there?
I don't know.
They got
All right, we still on. This is why I like this program. No
Okay.
script.
No
script.
No script.
And the thing about my program is this here.
Thank you.
The way it comes is the way it is.
I'm telling you.
So
Listen.
they don't. You understand what I mean?
I'm
So
with
you
you.
pick in your ear. Well,
It's there.
okay.
So,
So now, we love Ali. He's a good brother.
Good
He
guy.
put me in contact with a whole lot of people, and that's a good thing. That's one thing we
I
have
didn't know
to
you
do.
was on
Yeah.
the phone with. That's where I was at. Yeah, that's a small world, man.
Yes, sir. So, what is our next journey?
I want to start off and let them close it out because I know we got to get out of here.
Go ahead.
This is something. Life is a journey,
That's right.
not a destination.
That's right.
Okay, it have to be. They
Never
said,
stop.
never stop, brother. They said it take a village to raise a child.
That's right.
All right, that's an African proverb.
Mhm.
They have an Ethiopian proverb that say when spider webs unite together, they can tie up a lion.
That's right.
Now,
Wow.
that's the flimsiest web in the world.
That's right. But when they come together,
Go ahead, brother.
Come on
so
now.
it's no excuse of why we can't all come together and what we've been through.
we got to tie. We got to lock arms.
Got to
And I
lock-
think that
Come on.
what we're going to try to do as the summer coming, I want to work with you and both of you two brothers, and maybe we can have a lock arm prayer.
like that.
A lock arm prayer and pray to whatever God you want.
Come on.
But long as you know the responsibility as a man and what you're supposed to do in your community to uplift your community and other communities. And because we're not selfish.
Well, let me just break him off a little something for us.
Go ahead.
We've been doing this for 20 years. The
Come
same
on.
form we used to do. I don't know myself.
Okay.
I'm a black man born in a world so rich, but a society so poor. Where's my opportunity? Where's my door to an opportunity? How I can overcome these horrendous conditions in this rundown community? Yes, I am bitter, and I hate myself so much sometimes. I lash out at this rich nation, tired of being a good nigger. I just might buy me a gun and pull the trigger. Do you think it matters who I shoot? I just need to feel me some power as I take what I want, hiding behind the mask of fear because I am a coward. Hey, I don't want to go to jail. And if these folks get their hands on me, maybe I'll sell me some dope to ease my people's pain. After all, they say we are dumb, deaf, and blind, and content with nothing. As long as we content with nothing, we'll never be nothing but a slave to something or another. Hey, don't blame me. No one ever showed me love. My mother could only be so strong, and my father didn't stay around too long. Yeah, I raised myself. Right seems wrong, and wrong seems right. I'm going to hell. But can it be any worse than this? I'm afraid to free my mind from fear, because I might not be able to fight for my freedom and win. Therefore, I'll accept servitude as a way of life, since I cannot sow my own seeds of salvation. You have made me the man I am, so be proud of your work. You have oppressed me because I've allowed you to, but I cannot be a slave unless I choose to be. And we did that point for 20 years, man. Just hit the kids, let them know. Because we have to understand one thing. The traps are set.
Yes.
I've been caught up in them. Doc been caught up in them. Brother been caught up. We all been caught up in those traps. And that's what the traps have got more, more cunning and more conniving. So our kids are falling into it, man.
Sure.
That's all. So we gotta understand that they're under attack every day. We gotta be like psychologists. We gotta be like doctors.
That's right.
That's why I went from being a community activist to a professor, to a teacher. Work with the honest student, the bright one. And you know what? I had a son that was special ed. That special ed is deep because that's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Every child is special.
That's right.
But we got to know how it's going to take brothers like ourselves that have made the transition and that got the patience and that's not money hungry. See, you can't buy me.
No, that's right.
I don't care about money,
That's
cars,
right.
and
That's
all
right.
that.
That's
I done
right.
had those
That's
things.
right. Been there, done that.
Yeah, been there, done that. I'm about love. Love is a beautiful thing. And that's what we got to have, people that really love these kids regardless. You know, unconditional love, man.
That's right.
Because, like you say, the lack of education is the pipeline to this prison. You know that, Dr. Kirby. You know, so that's what we're dealing with, man. So we got to keep on trying, keep on hitting, keep on trying, keep on being an example in the community. You know, it's easy to move out the community. It's easy to run away from it.
Sure.
But
only to run away and create another.
But I heard one of the great, you know, when they say, you should build a fine home right there on Freedom Lines and Avenue.
That's right.
A mansion right there for all those people to see.
That's right.
The dope fiends.
That's right.
The prostitutes.
That's right.
The crackheads. They need to see that.
Time to
because
stop running.
this is the only world that they know. And we need to get a bus and put them on the bus, ride them up to Inglewood Smith, and ride up through Marcus. This is how other people live. This is popular, you know?
Bring your voice up.
In closing, what I would say is that it's time to understand the underlying traumas that our community has faced for so long. And these underlying traumas are simple, and they're not going to be diagnosed with your DSM-5 under PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or any of those other things, because those are diagnoses for something that we don't have.
That's right.
See, it's kind of funny when I look and do research and it's saying that African Americans are diagnosed with PTSD far greater than any other race.
Sure.
When PTSD was first established during the war in the military, and it was called something else back then. So what I want to tell people is, like, we got to stop believing these lies and start dealing with our traumas.
That's right.
You can no longer run from the inner traumas that you have faced as a child, and you took them into your adulthood, be it female or male, whether it's molestation, whether it's abandonment, whether it's grief, or the loss of a loved one or something. We have to start confronting these traumas face head on, and that right there will begin the healing process. Because once you know, it's like this, it's not about what a person calls you, it's about what you answer to.
That's right.
And once we understand that we're no more, that we're not animals, that we're not crazy, that we're not retarded, that we're not ADHD, that we're not PTSD, we're not Negroes, we're not this and that, then the healing can start. But you gotta start answering to the inner you.
That's right.
And that's the only person you should be dealing with, because the inner you has the inner me inside of you. And once you deal with the inner you can deal with the inner me, and you can challenge and deal with the traumas.
But the Bible says it best. You have to be transformed by renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Right now is the most important time.
Yes. Street God. Take that.
Woo! Well, I enjoyed this. Let me go on I had to go. All right, so up to date. This is, I retired in last April, to do this. It's called the Street Doctor Cleaning Service and Mitigation LLC.
Yes, indeed.
To give people jobs, because you can't get around money. When a person go into their pocket and they ain't got no money, poverty. They say poverty leads to a road of insanity. And that's why you see a lot of this stuff going on also. So you have to have money. And I thank God that, you know, He preserved me this long. And this is what this is about. Our program is called Street Doctor Cleaning Services. And this is what we do, and to give people jobs. And I want to thank my brother here for allowing us to be here, okay? And to share of what's really going on. You know, we've been there and done that. History is best qualified to reward all research, and we here. And I just thank this brother, you understand, for taking his time out, is to bring us together so we can share our story, because everybody got a story.
That's right.
Okay, so we can share our story and hoping that it can affect the people who's watching this so they can take it to another level. Peace.
Again, this is Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Good night.
Excellent.